Welcome to Kansas Jayhawks Instant Reaction post-game show as the Kansas Jayhawks roll over the Texas Longhorns tonight from Allen Fieldhouse. It's back and forth game pretty early. The first timeout didn't come until about 11 minutes to go in the first half, so a very fast-moving start to the ball game. Both teams really couldn't get things going, or they both got shots back to back to back. But then KU just took over, finishing the half up 20, 45 to 25. And they slow in the second half with 5 turnovers in a matter of a few minutes. But then they get back on track, and they roll once again. They score 41 in the second half, giving up 42, but the final is 86-67. They do this once again without Kevin McCullar Jr., who still has a banged-up knee, and post-game coach said there's a chance he might not even play again this season. He's definitely out on Tuesday, and they host BYU. But this effort without Kevin McCullar Jr. shows the depth in this team, especially from Nicholas Timberlake. 33 minutes, 17 seconds for him. He went 3 of 5 from the field. He had 13 points, all 5 starters in this one in double figures. Hunter Dickinson led the way with 20 points. He had 7 boards to go along with that. 16 for both KJ Adams and Johnny Furphy on Thursday. Coach Self said Furphy was just scratching the surface on the things he can do. He goes 3 for 3 from the field, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc, 9 of 11 from beyond the charity stripe, or at the charity stripe, 8 total boards for him on the night, 16 points, as it's just a dominant effort for KU. DeJuan Harris Jr. with 14 points, and as I mentioned, Timberlake had the 13 to go along with that. But KU proving it's got depth and proving that the time that Nicholas Timberlake played before has helped him get to this point. All the starters played around the same time tonight. Only 3 reserves came off the bench, and Jamari McDowell, Marco Jackson, and Parker Braun. But all played around 32.5 to 33.5 minutes for the starters tonight. They didn't need the 3 ball. They just went 3 of 8 tonight, but they shot the lights out of the ball tonight multiple occasions. They were up over 60% from the floor. They finished the night at They finished at 61.5 for the night, 32 of 52 on the night, just as I mentioned, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, but they didn't need to shoot the 3. They went 19 for 27 from the charity stripe. They outscored, mostly the job of Hunter Dickinson. They outscored Texas in the paint 52 to 34, 20 of those points coming from Hunter Dickinson, who seems to be back to the Hunter Dickinson that everybody knows. So that's good going into the tournament, obviously a few weeks from now, the Big 12 tournament, and then the NCAA tournament coming up here in the middle of March. But when you look back at this one, Texas just couldn't get anything going tonight. They shot dismal tonight, 41%. Well, got better in the second half, I should say. But the first half, just 26.5% from the field. They went 9 for 34 in that first half. But they did pick it up in the second half. As I mentioned, they outscored Kansas 42-41. It was a 20-point lead for a good portion of the game, or entering the second half, as I told you, 45-25. And then the first 5 or so minutes of that half, Texas kind of went on a run, and it was a lot of turnovers for KU. First media break happens, the under 16 timeout, and Coach Self and the coaching staff get into it with let them know, you guys got to do better there. And what did they do? They came out strong to end the ball game. Once again, Hunter Dickinson leading the way tonight with 20 points. He went 9 for 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from the charity stripe, 7 rebounds for him. He also had a block in this one. Parker Braun had 2 blocks off the bench tonight for KU. But Tuesday, they will host BYU. Let's see how BYU did tonight earlier today. Oh, wait, we do know. They did fall to Kansas State, as Kansas State getting back in the win column today. So BYU is going to be hungry, probably going to drop out of the top 25 as they had clinged to the 25th spot coming into the night. or coming into the week. So when you look at this team, it's going to be a BYU team hungry for a win on Tuesday, but a Kansas team that knows they're at a good point. Everything's looking good for them. They're back. They had a few lulls, obviously, a few weeks back with their loss to K-State. But when you look at where things are going here for Kansas, they're the Kansas team that everybody knows and loves. Hunter Dickinson finally seems to be getting back in his ways after some midseason struggles. You just maybe need some. You don't even need the scoring effort from the bench. I mean, you had Jamari McDowell. He was able to come in and he nailed a three-pointer, which lit up the crowd. A few times the crowd got lit up tonight on some dunks from the Jayhawks. But when you look at this matchup into Tuesday, BYU will most likely be out of the top 25, and you'll probably see KU jump up a few spots here as we get closer to the end of the season. But as we begin to wrap this one up here from Allen Fieldhouse, once again, the Jayhawks roll over the Longhorns. This is the last time the Longhorns are coming to Allen Fieldhouse, most likely in the regular season, as they leave for the SEC at the end of the year, start of the next school, at the start of the next academic year. So that definitely played into tonight's game, especially for the crowd. As the game was winding down, the student section started yelling SEC, like, good luck, have fun. You're probably thinking you don't have to come back here again. But story out of this one, no Kevin McCullar Jr. once again for KU as he continues to try and get back from that knee injury. Coach said in the postgame presser he will be out Tuesday against BYU, so not a game-time decision. So you're going to have to play once again without him. But you proved tonight, if Nick Timberlake can put up another performance like that, like he earned the start on Tuesday, obviously. If he can put up another performance like that, he could be that guy off the bench maybe that they need during the tournament if McCullar Jr. is able to come back. We've talked about it on 580 Sports Talk throughout the last couple of weeks. Me specifically, you don't usually need bench help during the tournament, but they could. And if you get a guy like Nicholas Timberlake, who's had to play this season, but forced into playing time because of the injuries to McCullar Jr., that could be good for them going into the tournament. If somebody were to foul out, you always need a guy that can come in and score. Elmarco Jackson, he's a guy that thought he could be a good scorer. He comes in tonight in 14 and a half minutes and doesn't score. He has 4 assists in the ball game. He has a foul to go along with that. Turned it over twice, but had a steal. He had the highest plus-minus of anybody on the team with 18. Jamari, and that's only in 14 and a half minutes. Jamari McDowell had a 17. So the two leading guys that are the plus-minus tonight were off the bench, which is a good thing to see for a Kansas team that their bench doesn't impact a lot of games because their starters are so good. But as we wrap this thing up, once again, KU rolls over Texas 86-67. Hunter Dickinson leads the way with 20 points, 16 points apiece for Johnny Furphy and KJ Adams Jr., 14 points for DeJuan Harris, and Nicholas Timberlake getting the start in place of the injured Kevin McCullar Jr. He comes in, has double figures. There's a rocking crowd here at Allen Fieldhouse. Funny tidbit from tonight. The in-game DJ played the new Beyonce song "Texas Hold'em" and said, "This ain't." It says, "This ain't Texas." It played that about 5 times in a row and got the crowd rallied up here as usual at Allen Fieldhouse, a sellout crowd once again tonight. But we'll break this one down more on Monday on 580 Sports Talk. But that'll do it for me tonight here for the Kansas Jayhawks instant reaction post-game show. KU rolls over Texas 85-67. We have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you on Monday at 2 p.m.